Okay. So the power of words. I have no pain to I am healthy. It's a different vibe, right? And the world that you live in is full of thoughts and phrases and habits and words that people have spoken into you. In a sense, they prophesized over you. They've told you, they've laid the foundation of how it is. And most people, as we've been taught these thoughts to be truth, they have become like the habit, the spell over us, the power over us. So for instance, what came to me this morning when I was just looking at it was like arms race. Now, arms race, I remember hearing back in the 80s, right? It was in the 70s. It was this sense of the USA versus the Soviet Union. Who's going to have the most nuclear, weapons? It's an arms race. There's always about something about power. When I was growing up, when still in the world, somebody needs to have power. So now the arms race, it's like, wow, the arms race, even though there was nothing in my life about this so-called nuclear war that was going on, I was being told it and told it and told it. And that there was this fear. I mean, people used to hide under their desks in the 50s, right after the nuclear bomb was dropped in, the atom bomb was dropped in Japan, not once, twice. And so that demonstration of destruction was there. And, that was the idea. We were trained, and we've been trained to be fearful of something. Fearful of something's going to get you. Fearful of now the arms race is the arms race. It's like, how many arms can we get done? And everybody has fears. Gosh, I was terrified for most of my life. I was terrified for a large part of my life. And then I started to break out of the fear. So I understand what it's like when you start to question things and you start to, and that doesn't even make sense. I mean, how could anybody even make that statement? That's ridiculous. Because I was under this heavy, thick spell of words, of thoughts of somebody else. But my inner moral compass, my inner guidance was always conflicted. Yet it was so weak. It was like a tiny little light on a candle, or even smaller, even like an ember on a fire, right? Like this little like with the ashes that just has a little bit of light there. In a sense, if you've ever lit a fire, that's exactly how it can be. It's like you're trying to stoke the fire. You're trying to make the flame bigger. And that might be the desire in your heart, which when people come to me for health, for healing, it's that sense that they want health. They really want it, but they're still so inundated with these thoughts that maybe the doctor knows what it's talking about, or maybe it works for other people, or these spells, in a sense, that have been cast over them, unbeknownst that they were spells, to believe that their body breaks down as they get older, right? And that's, of course, what they notice, because that's their belief. When you change your belief, you change what you see. And that seems contrary to what we've been taught, right? It's like the more you know, the smarter you are, the wiser you are. Well, the more you're told of what you're supposed to believe or what is true, you actually limit the experience of God. Because what you don't know, you don't know, you don't know. That's where inner guidance leads you to. You don't know, you don't know. And as you step into the don't know, it's like that little ember starts to grow. And as that fire starts to ignite, as the mind starts to become aware of, oh my gosh, when I say to people, well, what would it be like if you gave away the pain in your back? They go, I have no pain. And I'm like, and what would that be like? Well, I'd be pain-free. And what would that be like? Well, the pain would be less. But see, the focus is still on the pain, because that's what they're so used to. And when I say to them, a healthy person never thinks about their back or their body as going, I've got no pain, I've got no pain, I've got no pain. The word pain is like out of their consciousness. When someone truly trusts, they trust. The wind might blow by doubt and you go, well, there you go. Thanks for checking in, but keep going. You're free. This is freedom. Freedom to receive new ideas, new thoughts, new guidance, new world, new space, new time. So the words that you're being told and have been told since you've been yay high to a grasshopper have, in a sense, infected you. And what you believe is then manifested. So when I see on both sides right now, I see people that going, how could anybody possibly get that vaccine? And I see on the other side people going, how could they possibly refuse to get the vaccine, right? They're complete polar opposites, but they're based on what each of them believes. And until there's an opening in that belief, until that veil of their own beliefs has got an opening, can they possibly have a new idea? So for the ones that say, how could they possibly take the vaccine? I say, well, do you actually know what is being injected into someone's arm? I know you have been told and you've seen documentation of what's in there, but do we actually know? And do we actually know what that person's body is going to respond? And do we actually know what their role is in this great big global transformation? Some people are going to have adverse reactions, like we had, one that was just here in Prince Edward Island, and people, that's a stop and pause for some people. Like, oh, I was healthy before, maybe not. Some people have died, afterwards, and they go, no, it's because they had pre-existing conditions. And that makes people question and go, well, hold on. If they had a pre-existing condition before and they got COVID, they died of COVID, right? But if they had the vaccine and then they died afterwards, it's nothing to do with the vaccine, right? So people have to turn within themselves. Over here, with the people that are saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe that they're refusing a vaccine or they don't get it. And I say, well, are you really certain that the vaccine is going to prevent anything? Because if you listen to the words, and the spell that's being put out there, they say, the big pharma says, Fauci says, all the health people say, it will reduce probably moderate to severe symptoms. And it may still allow you to transmit COVID. It may still allow you to be a transmitter of disease. So other people go, well, if I'm feeling good and I trust my body, why in the world would I want to inject something in that seems to me to have all these other possible harmful carcinogens or into my immune system? They have greater faith in their immune system. It's like the person that's vegetarian, that's very healthy, that knows how to manage symptoms, to trust their body in releasing. They would much rather trust that because they've had that experience. And so people go, well, I don't get why they wouldn't get the vaccine, because these people don't believe the vaccine is what's going to protect them, because the fear is in the mind. Each person, each group is kind of fearful of the other, because one's afraid that they're going to lose their complete freedoms because the vaccine passport's going to come in. And the other group is fearful of the ones that aren't getting vaccinated because they think somehow they're going to get infected. And the spell is to get out of the fear, because we've been conditioned to be fearful of something. I mean, parents hover over their children nowadays like helicopter parents. That's what they call them. I didn't even know that term for a long time. But that's it. They're so concerned. Where my grandmother came over from Scotland on a boat when she was 18. She's gotten a boat and left home, and like that was that. sailed across the ocean, didn't know what you're doing. Explorers were like that. But that's the idea. There was no cell phone. There was, you had to write back on a letter, wait for how long that letter was going to come back. That's about trusting. That's about being free. That's about living your life. So may the spells that have been cast upon the world, that ugly coat of fear, be gone. And may you start to have that little, like in solitary confinement, when they open the little door and they give them food, that little bit of light comes in, and that little bit of light starts to affect you, and it ignites just like the little ember in the fire. And it starts to ignite, and you start to discern between what is really, truly true for you. Because it's a journey. I mean, I took years walking through this, and I went from, believing one so-called world of, like this world over here, of course, vaccines, medicine, doctors, money, all that stuff. Yeah, politicians, it's all good. And then I went over to this side of the world, that was like everything alternative, everything but anything over there. And then I had to come back into balance. I had to find the truth for me. It wasn't just because this was wrong or this was wrong. It was like, there's right in every situation. There's wrong in every situation. There's perception in every situation. Because it's all based on what each of us believes and each of us perceives. And you'll find more evidence to support whatever it is you believe. So if you want to change your future, you want to focus on what you really, truly desire. And you want to really work on getting rid of that heaviness that's on you, the pain in your body, the fear that constricts your immune system. And you want to start stoking whatever it is you need to do. If it's drinking lemon water, like if it's going for a walk, if it's turning on a happy movie, something that stokes that ember for you to start to feel relaxed and calm and joyful and open up to what you truly desire in the world. Because it is happening. The world is shifting. It is breaking down from the caterpillar to the butterfly. We are transforming and awakening to a completely different dimension. So our old habits and ways of being are being totally destroyed. And how that's going to create a win-win-win-win for everybody is mind-blowing to most people. Because again, one side has their ideas, the other side has their other ideas, and I'm going to suggest that in the middle, within each person, World War III, the arms race, is within each person. To move from the mind to the heart. And in that process, it's like you're seeing all kinds of things that you don't like. You're being aware of all kinds of stuff that looks like it's restricting, or there's a difference of opinion. And if we each move towards the opening, if we each move to the vision that we wish to see, joy, health, peace, love, wealth, freedom for everybody, we realize what we've been living in even in the Western world, is like glorified slavery. And that might seem really harsh for some of you that think you've got a great life. But if you actually really look at it, look how dependent you are, or how restricted that you must do A before you can have B. And as that goes away, as those beliefs disappear, as people can really trust the process that whatever they need in terms of resources, money, health will come to them, then that's a beautiful thing. And this pyramidal structure flattens out, and you become the center of the universe as this expands out circular. We have a new way of co-creating. So this is the spell. The power of my words are creating what I would like to see, that everybody starts to realize that when you're aligned in balance, The blame goes away, the shame goes away, the guilt goes away, all that stuff goes away, and you only want the best for people. It's love wins. Love wins. And in the process, what we've been seeing is with all this love, we've been seeing all the hurt and all the pain and all the disenfranchising going on. And that stuff bubbles up, shows up, and that's all we're seeing is how many issues we've had in so many ways in our society and our system. And then, all of a sudden, new ways of being are coming into being. Individuals are co-creating and collaborating together that work for their communities. And as each community is like each cell in the body, it gets stronger. Globalization helped us realize that we are all on this planet together, like we're all in this body. But each region, each small localized center, like each cell, has to be healthy and strong. So if you're looking around you, and right now it seems to you that your so-called family dynamic used to be intact, and now it seems that people are having different opinions about what's going on. It is that information that's always been there, but it's been hidden. It's been an energy. It's been put aside. The smile and get through it. Just ignore it. That has always been there, and that's the type of energy that festers and turns into dis-ease and disorder and pain in your body. So, health of an individual, you're truly abundant when you're healthy, when you realize health is a given. Health is a given, and you are immune to the hurt because you're in a whole different vibe. You're like looking down from the mountaintop in that sense, and you're going, I just want to help. I just want to lead the way that you can get out of this. You can get out of the ugly code of fear. You can get out of the delusions. It's an amazing time. It truly is an amazing time. And just trust what you're guided to do and follow it. Because each person has a role, and each person's role is just as important. If you've ever watched a movie that had so-called good guys and bad guys, you needed both players. You needed the man and the woman. You needed every player. You needed the extras. You needed the costume designers. You needed the sound technicians. You needed the videographers and editors. You needed everybody. Everybody has a role to play. Everybody has a role to play. And if we trust that everybody knows their role and plays their role, and however they're playing their role, even when they're triggering the heck out of you, even when they're saying things that you're like, I don't want to hear that. That's the role that needs to play. And each of our jobs is to learn how to be and respond in love, be love. And in the process, a lot of crap comes up. And you can cry, and you can get angry, and you can lose it at certain times. And this is all like almost like the volcano exploding, right? It's like the earth having an earthquake or a great big storm that comes through. It needs to be cleared and cleansed in order for there to have that spark, that little ember grow, and then you have this beautiful fire going. And you're always in that vibrant light. So choose the words you speak. Notice what you're saying. Notice the habits of language you use because someone else has been speaking them, and then you've just taken them on. And ask yourself, are you 100% certain that that's your experience, that that's your reality? Because everyone has a different one. So that's my end of transmission today. You have a beautiful, wonderful day. Lots of love.